Two training aids everybody has to turn you into a great chipper. Hi, my name is Erik Schjolberg with EJS Golf Science Better Golf. Stick with me. I got some drills for you to work on your chipping and slash pitching to turn you into a really good chipper. Now, remember, and pitcher, this is a very technical aspect of the game. I feel like it's easier because of that, because the diagnosis is simple. Okay, we have a certain assortment of things that can go wrong, and when you know what those are, it's an easy fix. Okay, so the two training aids today are simple. This could be a golf glove. I'm using a lineman stick, but everybody should have one of these in their bag anyways, one of these aim sticks. Other's a towel. Okay, so we're going to work on a couple things here. So just to understand here what my principles of pitching and chipping are, I call my number one deadly sin this: the takeaway that gets way back here behind your hands. Why is that? What is the problem with that happening? So here's the problem. If I take that club way inside back here and natural forces, I just turn, look where it wants to hit, unless I do some kind of manipulation. Now this is going to be square to that line. Look where it wants to go. This would be way outside. It'll be way in front. So you can see it from here. If I were doing this up here at the ball, way behind here, I'd want to see how far behind it is. That's why it's number one. Without this right, to me, it doesn't matter. You can still hit a good shot, manipulate it. And some of these, like if we're hitting a little draw shot, we're going to come a little bit more inside. Draw shot, I view as the more running shot. If I need to run it from the beginning of the green to say the back, I'm going to almost feel like I have more of a draw, kind of closing that face a little more than I normally do. So now let's get to this. So we have this down here because I want this just to be a given. Now I struggle with this. You may see some shots in here, and this camera angle is going to be maybe it's a tad bit off, so it may show it a little bit wrong. This is one of my struggles. I like to get it inside, and when I do, I have troubles. So this is number one. Now, why do I have the towel? Because I want all you guys to get more rotational. Okay, what I typically see is very hands and very armsy, especially under pressure. I see kind of like this, like no width, no body turn. And I want you to start feeling we rotate, okay? Our rotation is the key for speed. Okay, so if I want to hit it harder, I will rotate faster. If I want to go softer, I will rotate not as quick, right? So let me show you how this is going to work. Just put this under here, and I'm going to show you some alternatives to this too that you can use to carry this to the course, okay? Good thing about having a towel underneath here is when I'm doing this, it's going to be hard to separate my arms from my body. So it's going to make me want to rotate, okay? Let me just show you how this works. And I'll get into a couple other things that are important too, okay? So I like to feel myself getting out here. And a lot of times I'll just do it with my left arm like this because that's like that push here. The right hand is the one that's going to take it and whip it back like this, okay? So here we go. We're just going to go. Now, I don't know how well you're able to see that. That's a really hard green right there and landed pretty good. This ground is a little wet is why that why I took a little divot. And normally I don't want you taking a divot typically, but if the ground's wet, it's going to do it, okay? I don't know if you can see how good that rotation was in there, but when you're here, I'm going to have to rotate and turn. And those two other principles of I'm going to tell you right now are we have to hit the ground, and I like to be in front of the ball. If you're one of those people that come in really shallow and you're just kind of coming underneath it, well, that needs to be real close to the ball, but you need to hit the ground. It's an imperative. If you don't hit the ground, can you get away with it? Yes, you can sometimes, but it's going to be very inconsistent. So that's one of the faults that you just have to do. You do it right, and it's probably going to be a good shot along with the turn. I always say this, two things. I still have to tell myself to thump and turn. Thump means I thump the ground in front, and turn means I face the target. I get those right along with out here, I'm probably did a pretty good job. You're going to notice if you're real like armsy and handsy, you're not going to turn and face the target, okay? So let me show you another one of these. And I'm not hitting these. I have a 58 here, okay? And I mean, I'm hitting this probably 10, a little over 20, okay? I mean, I could go way less if I want, if you watch this here. You know, I probably hit that one 15, okay? But what did I do? I just slowed my tempo down. Did you notice that? That's all I did. I still had a swing that made it up here. I just slowed it way down. Now let me show you how to do it even shorter if I needed to. And just kind of watch the tempo. And I may go a tad shorter here, but just watch. And this is where it gets a little harder, but we need to know this shot too, okay? Because what happens, I see in these shorter shots, people go like this and they stab at it. And then they blade it nonstop or hit it fat. We don't want to stab. We want to just control that pace. Now we're at 10. That's half. And I could even get it to 5, okay? But I will bore you doing that. Let's go a little bit longer so you can see it. But if you notice, I am turning and I'm facing the target. And the key for me is hold your finish so you can see this pointing back at your belly button. This is going to tell you a lot, okay? Let's go one more here. So I like to feel it out here. Okay, so there's a good shot there to see. That was not my best because that rolled up the face, you could tell. Now this club's dirty. So how spin works and stuff, I have to, when hitting it here, it needs to catch the face and catch friction, okay? That's why water will stop it from catching friction. So what happened there, it rolled up the face of the club. So you notice it went higher and shorter. It's a good example to see. So that's why clean clubs are just huge for you to have, okay? So I'm not gonna show you another one. I think you guys get the point. Now, I told you I would show you how to do this without a towel, okay? So you take it to the course. Grab your shirt, put your armpits under, okay? Put your shirt under, and tie it up kind of like this and go in your armpits, just so you get like that sensation that it's under there, okay? It's one way. The other way, I call it like crocodile arms, okay? So they have short arms, right? So you kind of like bring them in like this so they're against your rib cage and feel like they stay there against your rib cage. When you turn, it's going to feel like real compact, but it's how I like to start all my students at first to learn so they really get rotational. I don't know if you can see that right there. I mean, that was just look how solid that was. Good spin on that thing. I just turned. That's it. But I hit the ground. I turned to face target. I didn't have the club inside. Try those out. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Hey, and check out my drills guide for all the full swing at ejsgolf.com/my-drills. And there'll be a link down below for it also as well. Thanks for watching. Erik Schjolberg, EJS Golf and the Science of Better Golf.